Galileo Galilei.
Galileo Galileo Galileo.
Galileo was born in Pisa, Italy on February 15th, 1564. His parents were Vincenzo Galilei and Giulia Aminati. Galileo's father Vincenzo was a famous lutenist who also taught Galileo to play the lute himself, which he became particularly fond of. Galileo was a physicist, mathematician, and astronomer who had a major impact on the scientific revolution. One of Galileo's biggest achievements was his improvements to the telescope, which in turn led to astronomical observations and support for Copernicanism. Galileo is commonly known as the father of modern observational astronomy. Demonstration video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Galileo's theory on mass and velocity. According to Galileo, the velocity of an object is not affected by the mass of the object. What I mean by that is this shoe and this pack of crackers are of different masses. However, if dropped at the same height, at the same time, with no air resistance, they should hit the ground at exactly the same time because of the acceleration due to gravity being the same on both the objects. Now, obviously, this packet of crackers weighs less than the shoe, as to say it has less mass. So, according to Galileo, they should have the ground at the same time. Let's find out. What you have just seen was a variation of Galileo's Leaning Tower of Pisa experiment, where he had dropped two objects of different masses from the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and they had hit the ground at the same time. Interestingly enough, the objects fall at the same time because the force of gravity is equal on both the objects. Therefore, even if the force of gravity is different than that on Earth, the objects should still fall at the same time, as you will see in the next demonstration.
Well, in my left hand I have a feather, in my right hand a hammer. And I guess one of the reasons we got here today was because of a gentleman named Galileo a long time ago, who made a rather significant discovery about falling objects in gravity fields. And we thought that where would be a better place to confirm his findings than on the moon. And so we thought we'd try it here for you. The feather happens to be appropriately a falcon feather for our falcon. And I'll drop the two of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that? It proves that Mr. Galileo was correct in his findings.
On January 7th, 1610, Galileo discovered something interesting about Jupiter using his telescope. He had discovered that Jupiter had 3 orbiting moons around it. His observations of the satellites of Jupiter caused a revolution in astronomy. This led to the belief that a planet with smaller planets orbiting it did not conform to the principles of Aristotelian cosmology, which proposed that all heavenly bodies should circle the Earth. Obviously, many astronomers and philosophers initially refused to believe Galileo because his discoveries were not what they were used to. However, his observations were confirmed by the observatory of Chris Clavius himself. It should be noted that even though Galileo had confrontation with the church, both his daughters joined the convent of San Matteo and remained there for the rest of their lives. Even Galileo himself made contributions by repairing the windows and fixing the clock to make sure it was the correct time. Now sit back and enjoy some lute music inspired by Galileo himself.